Hey everybody, good to be back. We're embarking on a new theme this week and probably the next couple of weeks. And I'm facing a fly, but I'm facing also something else. The challenge of life. What is it that makes life work? In today's age, in today's time, there is one thing that people, in order to live successfully or significantly today, is the need for wisdom. We always talk about wisdom as being this elusive thing out there, and we look for wise men and wise women and in order to find some kind of good advice maybe. But wisdom is found in the scriptures, and in the book of Proverbs, it's the wisdom passages. I want to turn there this next couple of weeks to say, what does real wisdom look like? Where does real wisdom come from? Let's have a look at some of the particularly practical aspects of the application of wisdom. And I hope that this is going to be of benefit to you. Proverbs is a great book. Some people will look at the book of Proverbs as it being a bunch of promises, where we have the supposed promise that raise up a child in which way he will go, and he will never depart from it. It's not a promise, but it is a principle. And every principle does have an outcome, but not every outcome is identical to what the principle has said. It's a principle for how to live your life as best as you possibly can. So if we go in with that kind of an attitude, you're going to derive some really good input, I hope, over the course of this next couple of weeks. Also, in the book of Proverbs, we have Solomon and some of the other writers finding just simple pictures of an ant, simple pictures of a fool, simple pictures of something in nature that he can relate it to help us to understand what this real wisdom looks like. If there's something we need today, it has to be that. We need to act with wisdom. I remember one of our pastors saying to me one day, where does wisdom fit? And he was answering, he says, something doesn't have to be right or wrong. That's the question we're often asking in our lives. Is this the right thing to do, or is this the wrong thing to do? The question I'm asking, is it the wise thing to do? Because it might be right or wrong. It might both our options might be wrong, or both options might be right. But is this the wise thing to do? It fits between the two. So as you live your life, ask these questions. Is it not right or wrong? If it's wrong, don't do it. If it's right, is it, and I can do it, then do I ask the next question, but is it wise? Is it wise? So let's learn from the book of Proverbs of some of these beautiful pictures that have been portrayed before us. Let's get straight into this. I've aligned some of these Proverbs to simple things that happen to us in life, and I know that you'll be able to identify it. The first one I want to read to you is Proverbs 6, verse 16 to verse 19. And these are lessons that I have learned, I've said, from an instruction manual. Listen carefully as I read this to you. Here's some good instruction. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are detestable to him. Haughty eyes, that's a proud look. A lying tongue, we all know what that is. Hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked schemes. Feet that are quick to rush into evil. A false witness who pours out lies. And a man who stirs up dissension among his brothers. Those are the things that God really, really hates. So if those are the things that God hates, let's look at this. It's not a great picture of humanity, is it? Humanity who do all those 7 things, and of all of those 7 things that I've read there, I'm not guiltless in any of them. They all have found some way of sneaking into my life from time to time. But that's a good picture of us, of this thing that we would put down to how do we deal with temptation. Because of all of those actions that I read to you just now, the haughty eyes and the dissension among brothers, they're all just simply a response to you failing the temptation and falling at the point of temptation. But my thesis is this, that before you fail at the point of the temptation, there's been a preceding test. And the preceding test is generally attitudinal. It's determining your response to a trial or a tragedy which originated this. So if trial or tragedy comes into your life, That's tragic, and that's trial. That's not always nice. But how you respond to that trial or that tragedy is a test. If you fail at the point of the test, which I said is attitudinal, then you get into this temptation. When Jesus said in the Lord's Prayer, lead us not into temptation, and we read later on that God cannot lead you into temptation because you lead yourself into temptation. God cannot tempt you, you tempt yourself. Lesson number 1, we tempt ourselves when we fail at the point of a trial and a tragedy, because the test that comes is, how am I going to respond to that which has happened to me? If you, however, fail at the point of the test to the trial, then all of a sudden a temptation will be sitting there waiting for you. The temptation is a response to an attitude. It's something you have done. While it still sits at the point of a test, it's just a test. Trials come into life, people. I don't know if you've known that. Notice that tragedies happen to the best of us. And each one of those things will come with it a test of what are you going to do with this? How are you going to think? What are you going to think about God when you go through this particular test? If you fail at the point of the test, the temptation awaits you around the corner. So we're going to look at a little bit of this over the course of the next couple of days. That's a short introduction. I hope you're ready to join me. Have a great day, though. Bye-bye, guys.